Okay, so are you guys ready to share in an adventure? Let's go. Welcome everyone to Critique Hour today. Thank you for coming. I am trying to do 2 critique hours a week again. It's just my health has been a little bit blah, 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 but it's feeling better today. I'm very grateful. I want to do great things with this illustration. But the problem with it is that it is a bit too linear. It's a bit too flat. You know, it's like a very flat, there's no real depth here. So what I'm going to try to do is explore photo bashing with you guys. Photo bashing is another form of art that is, you know, if you have your own photos, if you've bought photos, if you can manipulate Google Photos enough where they look nothing like the original, you can still get away with it and not really plagiarize. You can, you know, that those are your main sources, and what you do is you put them together to create a whole new piece. And it's a perfectly viable way to paint for those who are, you know, have a limit in their time, be it for concept art or some kind of you know, time sensitive a portfolio building responsibility that they have. You know, they want to just hurry up and make money and feed their family, all that kind of stuff. It's more than acceptable as long as you do it with class and grace and you don't look like a turd who's run amok with powerful tools that they know not of. Then your work will look great. But I'll show you today how not to look like a fool when you're photo bashing. Because let me tell you, I looked like a fool. I look like an idiot with a magic spell way too powerful for her level. And that's pretty much what my photo bashing looked like a long time ago when I used to freelance like crazy. Like I said no to no jobs. I said yes to every job that I found. And I learned a couple tricks here and there, and I want to share them with you today. Hopefully we can explore it. I don't know if it's going to succeed. Maybe it'll fail. We will see. But before I get started on that, I wanted to talk really quickly about the changes on my channel. I won't be doing this every single video, but I will be doing it for a while. Just because, you know, not everybody knows what's going on my channel right now. A lot of people are commenting saying, whoa, you know, you transformed the piece and all of a sudden things made a big jump between this second and this second. Or people are kind of shocked that I no longer upload the full hour videos. I still upload the hour videos. I just upload them exclusively for patrons. And if you want to support me on Patreon, all you have to do is join as a $1 patron. You get all of the critique hours, full critique hours, at least 6 a month, something like that. You get them for free. I mean, not for free, but you get them as part of the $1. They're very close to free. Very, very close. Arguably almost free. That's $1 a month if you join us on Patreon. What does the $1 do? Well, $1 is a very powerful number. Because it doesn't ask too much of the person who's pledging, but together, everybody together, it makes a massive impact. It keeps it keeps me independent, and it helps me find more stability in what I'm doing on my off hours, how much time I can allocate to critique hour, to offering more challenges in the year, to expanding my portfolio, my personal time. All of that stuff. Any support you send my way goes back into the community somehow. So if you do want to support, you want to see more of those critique hours regular for years and years and years to come, this is the best way to do it. It's a fail safe, and it's just something that'll prolong the longevity of the class and for posterity, keep the class running for as long as possible. I plan on also creating some kind of backup channel somewhere on the internet. In case, I don't know, something happens and the videos are no longer accessible to everyone on YouTube for some reason. I hope, knock on wood, I hope I'm not inviting anything by saying that. But those are some things I've been thinking about. You know, like in 10 years, are my videos still going to be here? Is YouTube going to start deleting videos? How long will they keep all these old videos up? And videos of low count, are they going to start deleting those? So that's the kind of stuff I'm thinking about. But if you do want to send support my way, it goes a long way towards the community. And the community is free. So if you want to join, you want to get your work, this person's work here is on my screen. This is not my painting. This is someone else's work. Go to the Reddit, istebrak.com, click on the Reddit icon here. and it will take you to the subreddit. There's almost 5K, 4.5K people here. So anybody who submits work and is an active member, critiquing other people, your work, people will see your name and come and critique you. If you feel like you're not getting the critique you desire, somebody will come by, somebody will critique you. As long as you have one person, one extra pair of eyes looking at your work and critiquing you and showing you where your mistakes are, where your tunnel vision couldn't see, if you're already moving in a step in the right direction. So join us on the subreddit, submit your work. And this is where I'll be submitting the brief for the upcoming challenge, which is floral humanoids. I can't wait for that. It's going to be such a fun day. And Portrait Studio is no longer on sale. I have not changed the price on the website yet because I've just been so busy. So maybe I'll change it after class. You have time. You have like an hour. So let's get started for today. All right, I'm really excited. Okay, so I'm going to just go ham on this. I'm just going to do whatever I feel like it needs based off my personal taste plus skill. So taste is very different from skill, because taste is, it may look like skill, but it's really, oh, you know, I just like this color better, or I just like this concept better. But you know what, your taste might be better than mine had you fleshed yours out. But let's talk about photo bashing. So some of the things I want to do to this piece. So let's do some planning. This is the white line that I sometimes bring in. And I just decide on fixing up the piece, how it feels. Right now it feels linear. So you've got one big triangle, and I talked about that a couple classes ago. Do you guys remember? What did I say about this big foreground triangle? Does anybody remember that? Write that back to me. Hope you're ready with a notebook. I was debating with myself whether I should go to bed early. Now, now I have to stay up. Thank you, Maggie. Dead space. Excellent. It's dead space. It does nothing. It's what is going on here? Nothing. So let's do something with this dead space. Let's create that rocky feeling here. So I'm just going to add some rocks. And then just try to figure out what we're doing with the top. Maybe we'll leave the top dark and a gradient dark. Maybe we'll leave it with some stalactites or something like that. They're actually deep cave systems, aren't they? So maybe not. And just doing my best to create as much depth as possible. So my sketch is the backbone of this whole operation. So using stacking and shrinking the cluster and shrinking the size with scale of those rocks will make the cave base actually look like it's going off into the distance. So everything feels less linear and flat and more open, and we actually feel like we're descending into this cave, or we were already in it while the dragon was there. And then I'll start photo bashing in a second. But photo bashing is nothing without the original sketch. Nothing is going to look good. Nothing is going to read well if your sketch is non-existent or very stiff as well. All right, so I'm trying to show where his little feet's. Today I was just watching videos of lizards, just like Komodo dragons or monitors, anything I could find on YouTube, and was just obsessively watching over them. And I wanted one. I just want a lizard so badly. They're so amazing. And they're like puppies. They're so cute. And then I'm going to be adjusting your dragon a great deal. Again, this critique isn't about honoring too much of the original design. I'm just going to show you how much strength comes from your own sketch. And then, of course, just using the piece itself to continue. Then there's going to be the very back wall. That can't just be empty space. Just where the opening of the cave is. This, I can't seem to get a good idea of how it's working. Is the cave starting over there? Is it over here with a little bit of raise? I won't know till later. Some things you can't sketch because they're hard to visualize as just lines. You'll be able to know how much relief you want behind and how the depth you want for that cave, if you're not restricted by a pre-existing narrative. So if you're not painting this for someone or something like that. The sword placement, I can tell from here, is just a little bit too far away. From the edge of the to the edge of the canvas, too close to the edge of the canvas. We want that closeness, we want that tension, that kind of like sexual chemistry between the sword and the dragon. And then at least it's not a donkey. And so let's get started. So I'm going to start moving some stuff around, starting with the dragon. I think he's going to be the most difficult thing. Write that down, write that down. He's going to be the most difficult thing to chop up. And then I'll start bringing in all that extra stuff. Write that down, write that down. Okay. And I'm going to just patch that up. Okie dokie. So if you want the full lesson, it is going to be available for patrons for $1 a month. It will be available for patrons of any tier. So it's patrons only post for the full class if you want to watch the whole thing. Some people like the morsels and some people like the whole class. You know, there's a little bit for everyone here for whoever is interested in lessons altogether. So I need to just lasso this little boy. This is going to be a fun one because I'm just on the edge of my seat waiting for the moment I get to bring in that gray smoke, baby. I cannot wait for that, but let's just be patient. Understand that you can't just use a whole photo and just plop it right in there and expect it to look good. You're trying to borrow from nature. You're not really trying to steal from the photographer. Do you understand? There's a fine line there. All right, and then I'm just gonna drop the value itself, and then value drop with Control U is very different from level drop. Level drop is like a burn, a collective burn. And then locking the layer, soft brush, and then just color correction. So coloring the whole thing down. You can keep some of the original color if you really need it. But again, this whole area is going to get darkened. And dark scenes, you get away with a texture overlay quite a lot. And I'm not 100% sure about the layout anyway, because I'm still not sure what the cave opening is going to look like. And that's going to go down here. And the whole scene with midtones. Don't burn with shadows too much, because burning with shadows is really corny and does not look great. Burn with midtones as much as you can, because it's a nice even way of darkening the scene that lets you darken everything a little bit more controlled, a little bit more control. Let me see, what else did I grab? Did I grab any cascading rock surface? This is pretty nice. Let me see if I could save that image. Desktop, save. This is looking okay for the rock that he is on. Select inverse horizontal, bring it up to here, rasterize, and just seeing what I could get away with according to. This is a bit more sandy, so I'm just going to keep it nice and small so that grain isn't too obvious. And I'll lock the layer, just bring in straight up white. And if it's glowing, I'll add that glow. Descendant of Gilgamesh. I'm just a descendant of whoever was running that Baghdad University so many centuries ago. I'm 100% sure. No, not really. I do want to do the ancestry test though one of these days. Where is that sneaky little layer? Where are you? Where are you? Okay, you're not there. It's my imagination. So I'm just gonna delete that. Baby boy, we're almost done. And I'm just gonna control some of that texture behind him. One more little texture overlay there. Let me turn on these, at least one of them. I'm gonna lower that. That's just for the rock disturbance ahead of us. See how that wing kind of looks like it's in the background now, because that just a little bit of light got between us and the wing. just getting eraser and deleting that weird selection I have right there. And then there's the fun stuff, which is creating those surface disturbances. So before I do that, this needs more variation to it. So I'm gonna just pick, sometimes you can use burn tool with a textured brush. It actually does a really nice little effect. Shadows. Just trying to copy what already exists on this texture. And I do have to consider the shadow of the dragon. So shadows are always done with a soft brush, cast shadows, because the light is weak. I'm just gonna pick a black. Just gonna add a little bit of that bloom behind the dragon. Yeah, so what happens is when you take on scenes with that much realism, really you are just setting yourself up to fail if you're not thinking about a sketch first. You have to try to sketch this stuff first before anything. And when you don't sketch, that's when you start noticing, hey, I have no idea what to do now and all that. One thing I'd love to do is draw on the whole, like if this was a movie and I was the director, I would just let the majority of the dragon sit in that shadow just like that, because it's just, there's light in between us and the dragon. And it's not that I'm trying to make the dragon angelic, it's that I'm trying to show the world around behind that strong storm, that mountaintop storm is really how, and that's why I'm saying we have to start with the silhouette and then overlay as the layers happen in nature. That's how you make textures that are believable. You're following the layers of nature. So what's between us and the dragon is just more sky, more air, more atmosphere, and that's causing these things. And then back here you could show even more levels of depth out here. So I picked the right color, didn't I? And of course we just have to blur these. More stuff behind there. You have to make sure you blur those because they're right in that little avenue there, and it might demand too much attention from the viewer. In fact, I don't have time to formulate this at all. So before and after is going to be quite big. So you know, just keep that in mind. It's not really about making the original artist look like a toddler or anything like that. That's not what I'm showing you. It's just my perspective, my just going ham, just throwing whatever I have at this. There's more that I want to do. I want to put a bit more light just around here between these two. But the point is, you saw how I did it. You have to use textures maturely. You have to use textures with a sense of dignity. And you can't use them as a way to replace your skill. Texture use is not a replacement of your skill. Before, after, I blinked, go back. This was an amazingly ambitious critique and I've learned so much from it. Thank you. Ham and cheese will get into it. Hold on to your socks. When do you use the one versus the other? Which do you mean? Difference between the two level filters, value and level drop. Level drop drops things, darkest things first. So it gives you a really natural darkening, an overall darkening while considering the things that are already black getting blacker, midtones getting slightly darker, and highlights pretty much not touched. Value drop drops things, everything down no matter what. It doesn't give a shit who you are, where you came from. It drops everything down to a really dull gray. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. When you're trying to drop the dragon down to match his environment, you do two types of drops. You do the general drop, which is how much detail is allowed, and level drop, which preserves detail and allows you to keep some of the surface contour. Where value drop, general value drop, will control you, doesn't give a crap about how much detail is in there. It drops everything and you lose detail. Sometimes that's good, again, because you want things to have a certain detail, to emit detail, because it's a silhouette and there's just no detail. Remember, no detail in shadows. Alrighty, thank you everyone for watching. So if you want to watch the full class and you're noticing that this class on YouTube is very short, that's because I am only uploading segments from now on, not the whole hour and a half or hour that I spend on Critique Hour paintovers. So please head over to istebrak.com and follow this link to support me on Patreon. Patrons of all tiers, you don't have to subscribe to an expensive tier. You just have to do the lowest pledge, which is just $1 a month. You get all of the critique hours for free. Not free, but I keep saying that. But you get them all for that $1. And then there's the subreddit. This piece I picked from the subreddit today. One really interesting thing that I want to do for next class, is one of the pieces I took out, which is, where are you? This piece. I feel like we could add her in a hallway, have some dogs beside her or some henchmen. She's pointing forward. She's got a couple of windows behind her going down. And basically the concept of the scene is get them, so she's kind of telling her dogs or her henchmen, whatever, to go get the people that we don't see. We're in the viewer's perspective. That's something I really wanted to do with this. I want to do another concept, a critique hour, where I talk about how to add a background again. I want to dabble more in that a little bit. But yeah, I just see a hall behind her and her pointing forward. Might use Portrait Studio to help me with her gesture. And or maybe she's just throwing a magic spell forward and she's standing all vogue, and she's kind of like femme fatale, dangerous. Who knows? Thank you guys for watching. If you want to catch the next stream, please go to Twitch. Again, go to istebrak.com and click on the Twitch icon right here. That'll take you to my Twitch, and that's where I'm streaming. The only place to watch the full streams for free is to join on the actual stream hour, Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Follow me on Twitter, where I submit announcements whenever I'm after hours streaming. YouTube, where I submit everything. Instagram, where I submit to I post weekly sketch challenges for anyone who's just scribbling around in their sketchbook who wants some inspiration, plus tons of memes, great memes, awesome memes. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday next week at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you everyone for coming. Bye guys.